The East African Business and Investment Summit in Arusha, Tanzania has concluded with stakeholders from partner states promising to enhance collaboration. With the private sector labeled selfish at the summit, we seek to ascertain the truth.
That could have been the situation, but this kind of activity which we are holding starts removing those situations which are reflected that it is selfishness. It is issue which now we start seeing how can the private sector work with other sectors to bring an improvement to the private sector while also improving other sectors, including public sector through government taxes, but also improving the standards of living of the citizens.
But why is it so when the region has set clear socioeconomic goals with the private sector as the fulcrum?
I think every business objective is to accrue as much profit as possible, and that's their mandate, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, I think quite often you find that, and to be fair, it's in their interest to be seen to be selfish, because you have to look at your bottom line. But I think we now need to look at ways at which to identify policy directives that stand to have a greater benefit to the private sector rather than to a particular firm. Maybe taking a sectorial approach.
On the theme, East African Community at 20, private sector-driven regional integration, the summit took stock of the region's business and investment progress.
We've been addressing the non-tariff barriers. This is our day-to-day challenge, the remaining non-tariff barriers, because not only do we, when we work on some and eliminate them from, for example, from the 28 to about 8, but there are some which come up, new ones which come up. Therefore, it's a constant engagement with the various partner states on easing movement of goods, services and people.
What actually stops increased trade, or which reduces the trade, intra-EAC trade, is what we call non-tariff barriers. It has become a common word. So my first proposal was that when we sign protocols, let's commit to them. Like we say, walk the talk.
Over 300 top chief executive officers, industry champions, women in business, small and medium entrepreneurs, and investors from across the region and beyond engaged in high-level dialogue focused on spurring regional integration and socio-economic development. The East African community integration is a process and not an event, and therefore it is paramount for the East African partner states to make serious commitment and walk the talk in the integration journey. Sigoa for UBC News in Arusha, Tanzania.